Whoa, back after 5 months. I didn't do nothing in 5 months, but this time I came back with something really exclusive for y'all, something different. Came back with, I call her the Oprah Winfrey of New Orleans, Super Scent. It's Rynell Stewart, but a lot of y'all probably know it as Super Scent. Like I said, a lot of people know about it from social media and everything, and we're gonna get into her story. And I want to tell you too, you got a beautiful house.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your new interview with Essence and your fiance, engaging to you, and y'all talking about all that. But I won't hop into the beginning of your story from me doing some research on you. Where did you grow up in New Orleans, and how was it growing up in that particular area in New Orleans?
Okay, so I grew up in the 17th in Graveyard, which is on the other side of P-Town once you cross Carrollton.
Okay.
And so I went to school back there, everything. But I kind of had a friend that lived in P-Town. She lived close to the scatter site. So I used to always go to her house, and where she lived at, that's where all the people used to be at. So I used to go by her. We used to walk in back of town. We used to walk on Monroe Street. So I used to be in P-Town a lot, especially once I entered high school. But I grew up in Graveyard.
And P-Town, to some people that might look at it on a New Orleans map, that would be the Leanders neighborhood, right?
Yes.
And when you talking about you from the Graveyard, from what I heard, people say that's a small part of the 17, a small section. So you might not hear that many people from there, but it is an area, and it's by the Graveyard. Is that Green Street?
Yeah.
Or something like that run through there?
Yeah.
Okay, and Lusher is in that neighborhood, if people want to know.
Lusher on Lawline.
So, all right, so how many siblings? You got a sister? Do you have, I know you grew up in a single parent home, right? Do you have any other siblings from your dad's side or what?
My dad have 2 sons, and we have another sister that we just found out about 2 years ago.
Okay, so how was that growing up in the house with your mom, and moving from Pigeon Town to the Graveyard, or just wherever y'all was moving? How was that growing up, with your mom?
It was normal. Like my mom used to live in P-Town on Willow and Leanders.
Okay.
So when she had us, that's where we was living first. And I used to go to that Head Start, which was on Willow and Leanders too. So then she ended up moving in Graveyard. I believe it was like I was 6, my sister was 7. When we moved to Graveyard, my sister went to Fisawa. So she went to stay in Mid-City with my daddy people, and I stayed with my mama. So my mama worked sun up, sundown. So, she worked a lot. We went to school. We used to go by babysitters. I went to a babysitter in P-Town. I had a babysitter in Graveyard. Like, we was kind of like going back and forth, but she just made it happen.
Right. So that's where you get the hard work ethic from, probably from your mom, because she worked all those different jobs. A woman of many hats.
Yes.
I see why you get it from. Definitely. So you say you went to Lusher. So you went to Lusher for elementary, and what's some of the other schools you went to all the way to college?
So I went to Lusher for elementary. Middle school, I went to Lusher. I got put out in the 6th grade. Then I went to Green for 7 and 8.
And where's that located?
Green is in the 13th.
Okay.
So I went to Green. After that, I went to Rob Wayne. Then I got put out of Rob Wayne. Then I went to Fauché.
Okay. And Rob Wayne to be in the CBD.
Yes.
Okay. And then you say you got put out of Fauché for what?
Yeah. I got put out both of them, but I got put out of Rob Wayne because Fauché and Rob Wayne had a fight with Joan Mack, right? So, like living in the 17, the only way you kind of knew people from Holly Grove, like really hung people from Holly Grove, is if you went to school with them, if you got family, right? Because like Holly Grove and P-Town was beefing real heavy. So if you did hang with them, it's because you went to school with them, or y'all family or something, right? So they had people that went to school at Fauché. I wasn't even going to Fauché yet. I was still going to Rob Wayne. And they had people from Rob Wayne, and it was cool. So they had some dudes from Rob Wayne, dudes from Fauché. They ended up walking together. I was walking with the girls, and they had a fight with Joan Mack, a big old fight on Canal Street, right? And once the boys fight, the girls gonna fight. So the next day after that fight, I was at the McDonald's. I was in there with some Rob Wayne girls.
And it's on Canal Street?
On Canal Street. I was in McDonald's with some Rob Wayne girls. I was coming out of the bathroom. I remember because I was still buckling my pants. I had some long booty braids at the time, and a small girl snuck me. Yes, when she snuck me, man, I would whoop this girl. Do you hear me? But they all jumped us. It was a lot of them. I guess they were trying to take out the big one first because I was tall. I was always tall in school. And when everybody jumped in, I kind of got the girl by myself. So me and her kind of fought one-on-one, but it was just a big gang fight. So the people at McDonald's was calling the schools and said, hey, we had some students fighting in McDonald's and all that. So when I went back to school, they put me out to school.
But how do you know it was you? Like somebody said it was a tall girl? Like how did they pick you out?
I would never understand how this lady knew I was fighting on Canal. And then I was the only one put out.
Wow.
Yes, like she said, oh, he was fighting on Canal Street. But all this happened between Fauché. Fauché had got into it with Rod Wayne, and then Fauché got into it with John Mack. And then the people that was with Fauché, they just so happened to go to Rod Wayne too.
Right.
So, you know, that's how it all. But then she just put me out.
And it's crazy because I talked to Lil Yah from UNLV, and he said that a lot of people used to meet up on Canal Street to fight. But even when you go back in the history of New Orleans, Canal Street was the neutral ground, even with the French and the Americans where they fought. So that was the neutral ground, Canal Street. So it's crazy that was even our battleground in high school. If you get caught with the wrong shirt on in school and they catch you, they gonna fight you and stuff like that.
People don't know that was definitely the battleground.
So when you was since we're on the high school stuff, when you was in school, like, was you getting bullied because your size, like you said, because your size, people picked on you a lot, and why did you feel like they, and what did that start like? Did it start when you was younger, before high school, or what?
It started when I got the green. So Lusher is a real diverse school. So it was blacks, whites, Asian, Hispanics, it was all races, right?
Right.
I never got teased till I got the green, right? And when I got the green, I got teased for being tall, got teased for having a big nose, got teased for having a deep voice. So that was just, it kind of hit me fast. Cause I'm like, damn, I got a big nose, cause I never heard it until I got to green. You know, green was more of a hood school route. Lusher is more of a kind of, it's real diverse, so it wasn't really no teasing, wasn't really no fighting, none of that. So it kind of like went from going to like a private school to a public school, right?
Night and day.
Yeah, it was night and day. That's how I kind of got the diverse side of me, right? So I learned how to rib at Green. These two dudes used to follow me home from school and tease me the whole way home. Like bullying and teasing, two different things. Bully is when you just scared. Teasing when somebody just talking about you and you can't really rib back. So I learned how to rib at Green. And then once I went to Rod Wayne, I was a ribbing machine. And
for ribbing, some people might call that jonesing on people.
Yeah,
Jones, we call it roasting. Roasting. We call it ribbing. Yeah, cause see, I had that too. Like people say, man, you know, and I always looked at it. My mom was like, this is a black feature. So it's like this something that we look like that's. But people tease it if you don't look. Your nose ain't like this, or you don't look like more like a white person than the other people. You not pretty. But that's people that have, like I said, I always felt like they had like internal issues in themselves and stuff like. So you learned how to rib, you got funny, and then when did you start? Because I remember you from being on Vine, and this before I felt like Vine took Instagram idea with the videos, because Vine was doing it first. But I remember you in Tokyo and other people was like popping on that. So how did that, was it Facebook, MySpace first, or you was on Vine? Like, what was your first social media site that you kind of really was like, I could really like build a fan base off this?
Well, my first social media site would be, I would say Vine, but I always went social. Always, like since the party line.
Okay, 13, so go back to the party line. I remember the party line. Yes. All the girls and boys. They go way back to the party line. I was 13 years old. My mama let us talk on the phone with guys when we was 13. She's like, y'all can talk on the phone, boys, till y'all become teenagers. She's like, all right, cool. So once I hit 13, I found out about the party line, and I was on it every night, right? So I always knew I was a social person. Like I was, just talking to people, getting to know people. I met a lot of friends. Like I met Bricky on the party line. Okay, yeah.
Me and her went to middle school together, but I actually socialized with her first on the party line. So it started from the party line, but actually building a fan base, it really was Instagram. Facebook, I already had a lot of followers, but that was before videos. It was just statuses, right? So, but my following came from Instagram first. Before I got on Vine, I already had like 15,000 followers on Instagram already. And then I got to Vine, and then my Vine followers just passed it up. So, but I didn't really look at it as fans or like a following. I thought it was just a lot of people was just drawn to me because I had an accent. When you got on social media, like you didn't know about other cities. It was closed in. Like we didn't know about different accents. We didn't know about different foods. We didn't know about none of that, right? So social media kind of introduced everybody to how different people sound. So I think people gravitated towards me on Vine just because of my voice. Yeah,
your lingo, and then you had a sense of humor. But like you said, the Twitter going back and forth, this city ribbon, and then even you having, like you said, the accent. I like how you put the Wuzaam and Supa. But when I look at your old YouTube video, because like you said, you and your Bricky been tight, and I seen when you was rapping, you was going by 23, but I seen you had your name Super Bad. I know we got a rapper named Super Bad. How did you change your name from Super Bad to Super Scent?
So Super Bad was I think when I was pregnant with my son in 2009.
With Trey?
With Trey. when I had him, the neighbor used to say I was super bad. It was like, because I always tell him that my son was bad. He was like, of course he bad, you super bad. So I just changed my name on Facebook and I just went to going by super bad. But a lot of people used to be like, man, you're not even bad. You're not even, I'm like, I'm not saying I'm super bad.
You like bad like a badass.
Yeah, I'm like a badass.
Like Boosie badass.
Right, you know. So they kind of took the super bad wrong. So I kind of just dropped the bad and just called myself Super. But on Instagram, Super Cent, my name used to always on Instagram used to be Wuzaam Super. It was Super Bad at first, and then I changed it. Then after that, it was always Wuzaam Super. But my page kept getting deleted. I used to get into people like Buck. Yes, people like Monster, and they used to report my page a lot. They're gonna lie to they didn't, but they definitely did.
Right. So
my page got deleted. So every time my page got deleted, I make a new page with something crazy, like Tupac was on. I'm like Tupac. You know, people were saying Tupac ain't really dead.
Right.
Then the 50 Cent was, you know, I think at that time my page got deleted like 9 times. So I said, I'm just gonna do Super Cent like 50 Cent.
Right.
You know, so it was an accident. I wasn't trying to keep the name. I hate Super Cent.
Right.
I can't stand Super Cent.
Wow.
I hate when people call me Super Cent. It boils my skin. Because I didn't think I was gonna have that page that long.
Right.
But right now I've been having to pay 8 years now, so I kind of got stuck with the name Super Cent.
But and that's good because I don't know if people probably haven't heard you say that and how you really feel about the name.
Well,
so your real fans know that you really read that name and all that.
Yeah.
So they like read it. And that's how we talk, like you said, there was why do you feel like people love New Orleans lingo, New Orleans culture, New Orleans music, like just everything about New Orleans so much? Or what do you love so much about New Orleans?
I bleed, breathe everything New Orleans. Like I just can't go nowhere else. Like even if I want to, like, you know, home is, I think it's because we just from here. I feel like wherever somebody from, that's how they feel about their city. But I just love, like, I love to see that our city is getting so much attention for our music, our food, our accents, our culture, everything, you know. And I feel like a lot of people from the city don't really know the background about our culture, right? And I even had to kind of learn myself. I'm still learning stuff about the city that I didn't know about, right? But I think our accent, people kind of refer our accent to Jamaicans.
Yeah,
right?
It says the northernmost Caribbean city. And
yes, right? And when I did actually go to Jamaica, I kind of could hear it. So I said, okay, I see why. Like when I was talking out there, they was like, oh, you from, what part of Jamaica you from? I'm like, I'm from New Orleans. I'm not from Jamaica, you know, so. I think to them it just sounds like we some foreigners in the United States.
Yeah, because they speak patois in Jamaica and it's broken English, and in Haiti they speak Haitian Creole. Right. And you know we have a lot of influence from the Haitians that came. And I always tell people, a lot of the Haitians that came after the Haitian Revolution, before they went to Florida, in droves they came here because at that time Florida was more of a Spanish Eric colony. New Orleans was French. So a lot of those spoke French, they came here and then they helped build up New Orleans. And then most of the Haitians went to Florida during Papa Dow regime in the 60s. So I always tell them a lot of that influence is here. That's why you see the architecture with the Creole cottage houses, all the colors. It look like you in Puerto Rico or Jamaica or Haiti. So that's why I think we sound so fire in the what's happening. Like you said, when people say with the that shit might mean beaucoup different things. Or what's happening, bitch. And that might mean a couple of different things the way you deliver it to somebody. Definitely. So that's what I think make us so unique. Now I want to say this too, whatever. I seen recently, and I posted on my Instagram blog, when Max Payne was giving you flowers, and he said that you have a heart of gold. Definitely. And I don't even know you, but from what I was seeing about you, and my mama love you. She's so happy with your relationship. She like, I would just be rooting for her. Like she my daughter or whatever. So what do you think that heart of gold come from that a lot of people always say? Because I didn't see you helped a lot of people, you know. And that's why I always call you the Oprah Winfrey of New Orleans, because Tyler Perry give her a lot of flowers and a lot of people do too. And I want to give you your flowers on camera, and I seen Max do that. So why do you feel like, what do you feel like that heart of gold come from? Like how did where that heart come from?
I think it's just a family thing. Like I'm real super family orientated. Like my mom, we grew up in family. Like we always did family events. I always spent a whole lot of time with my family. Not just my mom's side, but my dad's side too. So by me being so family orientated, like I feel like my friends are my family as well.
Right.
So, and then being born into a family like that, to where we actually look after our family, I feel like that also goes towards anybody you love too. Right. So I don't know. I just got a big heart because I was raised like that. Like my mama never had no hate in her heart. Like my dad didn't really take care of us, right? But even when he used to, like, you know how like some parents would be like, oh no, you can't come get him, like, you ain't come get him for his birthday.
Right.
My mom had never done that.
I'm glad, man.
She never done
That's
that.
nice. Because a lot of women do that. A lot of women be mad with the man,
yes.
and they still be spiteful.
Yes.
And I know it's a hurtful thing, and everybody deal with stuff different, but I know that took a lot for your mom to still say, I'm not going to hurt his children. I'll keep them from having a relationship with their dad if he's still trying to do something.
Listen, this man used to have us on the corner waiting, he wouldn't come. But if he called the next day, come get us, she gonna let us go. Like, she never spoke bad. Like, we didn't find out how bad it was till we got in our late 20s. She told us, oh, your daddy did this, he said this. Like, we didn't find none of that till we was grown. Right. So imagine if she would have told us that we was young, like, we would have been so spiteful towards him, but she didn't. Like, even all the, sometimes he used to only come get us when he had a new girlfriend. He wanted to show off, and she used to let the women come get us. She never was spiteful to nobody. You know?
But I still see you still seem like you have some type of relationship with your dad too, and I guess being older and just learning stuff and knowing how stuff be, or maybe he probably told you where he went wrong, and maybe you kind of forgave him for that. And I see y'all still, I don't know if I definitely know it's probably not like you and your mom's, but I still see that you have, I didn't seen him on your page before and you didn't talk about him and stuff, and you look a lot like him too.
Definitely, yeah, that's why it's so hard to kind of be mad at my daddy, because I feel like if I wasn't his child, I wouldn't be where I'm at. Like, my dad have a crazy sense of humor, and I feel like my sense of humor come from him. The way I act, the way I talk, I stutter like my daddy. Like, all the unique things about me, I get it from my daddy.
Sound like Lil Wayne on the songs, sound like
yeah, like all, like it's hard to see him and hear him talk and not see me in him, you know. So. Sometimes I have my little moments where I don't feel like being bothered with him, but I never, you know, like deny him. I still take care of him, you know, even though he didn't take care of me. But I feel like I'm where I'm at today because of the features and the qualities I get from my daddy. Right.
But like you said, you still keep blessing people and still keep giving people jobs, opportunities, chances. Even me, you know, letting me do this. But back to that with Max Payne. So how do you feel about him? And just him telling you that, and what would you say about him that you know, whatever, because how y'all relationship came, he said y'all met through a female that was your friend.
Yeah. I met Max, and I think I was pregnant with Trey. Was I pregnant with Trey? Or was it, I think I met Max probably like 2010, 11, I think. He was dating one of my previous friends, and this was before Max was even rapping. He wasn't even rapping then, right? Right. And then I remember he went to jail, and when he came home from jail, he started rapping. And me used to rap for so long, like I've rapped since I was a child, you know. So when I used to hear a man saying, I just started rapping this shit, I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. You can't rap, you know. Like, once somebody said, I've only been rapping for a year, something, like, you feel like they're not even, like they don't know how to rap. That's how you automatically feel when you somebody say that, you know. Especially since me, I was rapping since I was young. So when he told me, I'm like, all right, right. So he done a CD, he gave it to me. When I heard it, I'm like, this dude is super talented. And the fact that he wasn't rapping that long, it was kind of mesmerizing for me, because Max, to me, even to this day, Max is one of the hottest rappers to me. Right. Like, Max is, the thing is, a lot of people can rap, but Max can actually make music. And that's what a lot of artists can't do. Like, a lot of artists, they probably got balls, they probably got punchlines, probably got metaphors, but to actually put a song together, Max could do that. A lot of rappers can't do that.
And you love music. I see, like I said, you and Bricky been rapping, been freestyling. Y'all got balls like y'all was on a Smack DVD and something like that. So I know you really love music, even though you're doing the makeup stuff and you became big in cosmetics, but I know you love music a lot. How you showed that shirt, because you always had the receipts, and you even showed me pictures when you was a little kid on Oak Street and home. So I see that you keep all of it. And I see you had the shirt with the sweater, the sweatshirt with Youngin shirt for the feet up, and you had the one with Max Payne or whatever. Describe your relationship with Youngin, because he's from Pigeon Town, where you from, and I want to say too, you know, that's real that you give Max all them flowers, and he from downtown. A lot of times people like, I ain't rocking with you if you ain't from uptown, because I know Baby used to be like that a lot. Like, Baby love his uptown shit.
Baby is still like that.
Yeah, he's pro uptown, even though he still might have had all this downtown. We know it's hard. Right, but we know you seem like you, wherever they hot, it don't even matter.
They hot.
So your relationship with Youngin, how did that start? Because I think he was helping you rap, or he gave you a name or something, like, I think.
I met Young when I was 16, Young was 14.
BTY Youngin we talking about,
BTY Youngin, he was 14. He had a cousin he used to be with all day. His name was Bird.
Right? Okay.
And that's when I used to go in P-Town. I met another friend. Bird used to date my previous friend too. And I remember Bird coming to the house one day. We was on Green Street. And he was like, I want you to hear my little cousin rap. I'm like, okay. And when he brought Youngin over, he had these little, so we used to call Youngin Ball Spot D.
Yeah, I
he had
heard
a ball
that,
spot in his head, right? So he had these little twists in his head, and he came over there and he started rapping. I'm like, well, fuck, I know how to rap too, you know? So we both was like just rapping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And every time he used to see me, he was like, you always got some J's on. Like, that's what made me get a job. I fell in love with Jordans. Like, I got a tattoo on him and everything. And so he said, he out the blue, he said, I'm gonna start calling you Young 23. I'm like, for what? He was like, cuz man, that could be a rap name. Your rap name gonna be Young 23. I'm like, all right. So I really ran with Young 23, right? So, and that's how I met him. Literally, I met him in a house one day. He started rapping, then I started rapping, and we both felt like we both could rap. And then every time I went to Pizza, I always seen him running around the neighborhood, you know, picking on people, just being funny, you know, like goofball or whatever. And that's the only cousin I really saw him with all the time. Like Bird, like he looked just like Bird.
Right.
So Bird used to like really like keep him under his wing a lot. Like he always had the older cousins that, you know, he used to run around, but Bird was the main cousin he used to be with.
I want to give you flowers on this too, because when I was managing Youngin, like I said, you didn't know that was me at the time. And like I said, OBG Bang was in jail, I think, with the guy who was dating at the time, Get 'em. And Get 'em was rapping in jail, and Get 'em was hard. And we'll Get 'em from, what part of New Orleans? From the forward. All right. So Get 'em was rapping, and that's how he met Bang. But Bang wanted me to do the stuff with him, but at the time I was doing so much stuff with Youngin. But when Youngin did get out and I made his Instagram, you was one of the first people to shout his Instagram, because I made his Instagram when we went and picked him up from Winfield. His daddy, Nice Guns, and Sputter, we was all together, and we picked him up from Winfield, and I made it on the way there. But you was one of the first people to give him a big shout out that got his followers up, and Daniel Hollis. So I just want to tell you, I appreciated that, and you know, whatever, you still kept it going with him all the way till he passed, and you still keep his name going now. So I just want to tell you that.
Of course, thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I promoted Young a lot that year when he first came home, because he was into writing to music, music. You know, Young used to call me from jail. Like, I still got his number saved in my phone. That's free BTY. Right. And he used to always call me from jail, and I used to tell him, I'm like, you got me. How the hell you put music out? He's like, man, it's all my man. It's all my manager. I'm like, who your manager is? And he told me your name, but I never put a face with the name, right? So he always talked about you when he was in prison. Always. He always said, but that's not me. That's that's my manager. Yeah, Jack GDP is my manager. I'm like, okay, and when he came home, I used to always say, man, not Bang. Youngin was buzzing from prison. Right. You know, like his music started circulating while he was incarcerated. So when he came home, he kind of like just went in grind mode. And that's why I always tell people, like, I don't say I did everything with Youngin. I was the beginning of, you know, Youngin knew how to rap before I met him, but I do feel like I played a part in that. And that's why I talk about it when we do interviews or stuff like that, because it's still a part of my life. It's still a part of your life. Like, all these people, still a part of your life. You learn good stuff from them, bad stuff, whatever. It's still a part of your story. So it still should be told. Was a street nigga. You know, he wasn't no social media person. Right. He didn't know nothing about no Instagram. He didn't know nothing. You know, so you definitely built his social media presence, and that's what he needed for his music to actually sell like that. Yeah, to connect with the people, because that mixtape had 10,000 downloads on that Piff, and I took it down out of respect for Miss Gabriella, because she put it on, you know, like Spotify, Apple Music, now where people could stream it and they could monetize it. But at the time, that Piff was free. But I do want people to know that it did have 10,000 downloads off the muscle, and then we had the stuff in the street. So that was a good movement. Definitely. Back to being called, like I said, the Oprah Winfrey of New Orleans. I remember seeing who that We That Chicken and Shrimp, and the guy Greg, I remember he had the truck outside, the purple truck, whatever, he was doing this thing, and you kind of was giving him the cosigns and telling people about him, and using your following to get on him or whatever, and support another guy from New Orleans, and that kind of helped him out. It seemed like he even dedicated his own wings to you after you, and he got another spot in Oakwood Mall now, whatever, and he even got seasons and grocery stores. So great. How do it feel that, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, a guy, The Exquisite Shrimp, Seafood and all that, like these people, and it's probably way more people, a slew of, but you do this all the time, so why you feel like you gotta do this, or you just, because some people like, I ain't about to do this, I ain't making no money, like why I'm gonna do that, and I ain't getting nothing from it, I don't own it. With me, I feel like I'm real big on, if I could do it, all y'all could do it. I don't think, like, I always had the hustling mentality, but like I really feel like if you could sell drugs, you could sell anything. Right. I be telling so many dudes that, and I don't think they really understand what I be saying, but I really support my city a lot. Like, even whoever don't support me, that's on them. Right. But the people that really fuck with me, whoever I fuck with, I'm gonna make sure they win. Right. And it's not like I be expecting nothing in return. I just, like, what makes me happy is actually seeing them flourish outside of Supa. Right. Like even if I help you get on, if I help you make money, like once you start flourishing, like everything with that. Like in the beginning, I was the main person promoting with that. The main person.
When it wasn't even cool.
When it wasn't even cool, I was the main person. And the fact that he went outside of me, like now he didn't, like so many people go to We That, so many celebrities, so many influencers, like he didn't open up all these stores. Now he know that's all that's outside of me. So the thing is, like I probably can help you, but I can't keep helping you. Like, you got to do your own thing. Like that's why I give all them their flowers when it come to We That, when it come to my friends, like all them, like even though they in the beginning they started with me, but they surpassed me. Like they surpassed me when it come to marketing. Like they started working outside of Supa. Like you can't just keep coming to Supa, because I got my own thing I got to do too. But I really just want to see them win, and what makes me proud is them actually winning. And them actually keep going, and them actually not stopping. Like I'm still proud of Greg. Greg doing some big shit.
Now what do you feel about people that feel entitled? Like you gotta do this for me. You owe me this. I went to school with you. I'm your cousin. You supposed to give me money or believe in me. And it's just because, and they probably didn't really believe in you, but people that just feel like you owe them something, and you put your work, blood, sweat, and tears, and you was dreaming of this shit when people probably didn't believe in you, but they feel like you owe them everything because you got a nice house and lifestyle now. That's
where the clash come in. The clash, that's when I start getting upset, because honestly I don't owe nobody nothing. Like I got where I'm at because of me. I got I got exactly in this house, and in my lifestyle, my living state, I got here because I wanted to be here, you know. And I feel like everybody should think that. Everybody should feel like I got here because of me. Like if anybody would have stopped marketing their business out, like once it stopped at me, they wouldn't be nowhere. So like they should think that they got wherever they at because of me. So a lot of people come to me feeling entitled. A lot of people come to me feel like, oh, I knew you when you was not that no more. You know, like once they start feeling entitled, I just cut it off. Like I don't, like, you're not about to make me feel like I'm guilty and make me feel like, oh yeah, I should have helped you. No, you gotta help yourself first. Everybody who I helped, they helped themselves first, and then I came in and kind of did something like a little bit. Like then I didn't do too much. I really just promoted and supported. That's all I really did, you know. So once that's where the clash came in, and I just leave them alone after that. I mean, I don't let it stress me.
You just put a little water on it. The scooter stuff, you started that in 2020 after the pandemic. What made you start that? Because I see all these people riding around in French quarters on scooters, and everybody just having a good time on these scooters. What made you say, I want to start a scooter business?
Listen, I'm gonna keep it G. That wasn't even my idea. The two dudes I'm in business with is Lock and Foo. Right? So if you know Foo rap too. Foo used to rap with Max. They always part of Really Do Records. And Lock was the one Lock was all the manager. Lock was Max's manager. Lock was the manager over Really Do Records.
He was like the Dame and Dash running everything, day-to-day operation.
Yes, exactly. So I met all of them in 2000, I think it was 2010. Bricky was gone with one of their partners. And when Bricky used to be, it was matter of fact, it was way before that. It had to be like 2007 something, because this was a long time Bricky used to talk to this guy. But when Bricky used to go by the dude house, when I used to go with her, all of them used to be outside. So that's how I met them. So they both of them came to me one day. They was like, look, let's have a meeting. I want to run something to them. I'm like, all right, cool. So they came to me, and they thought of the actual business. They found the location. They just wanted another investor. So that was all they doing. Like even now, like they really running it. Like they doing, like I'm basically kind of like the solid investor. And like whenever they need something, I go there. I do the marketing. They doing all the marketing by themselves. Like we all got equal access. We all got equal amount of ownership in the business. But they really doing all the work. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
So you giving them their flowers again too. That's what I'm saying. You keeping it real on camera. So it's facts.
They the reason they got all the customers. They the reason they open every day all day. Somebody's there every day all day. They got everything we've done. They did it, and I just came in and did a little push. So I mean, I think somebody was telling me used to work at, I think it was Oceana. No? So a pizza, I don't know if that was true or whatever. What jobs like you worked at, and like what was you thinking when you was working these jobs? Like, man, I got this dream. I feel like I could do this and do that. My social media stuff, getting there. I know I ain't that far from it, but you still had to go to work every day because you still had to take care of the day-to-day living stuff. But how was it still knowing that I'm still trying to dream, but I still got this 9 to 5 that I got to still deal with these managers or owners and stuff? So my last job, I was a housekeeper and I was a bartender. So I was a housekeeper at the Le Pavillon Hotel, I'll never forget. It was 2014. That's when I think I already had over 100,000 some followers on Vine. And if I can remember, we was in this group called Black Rank. It was like a Vine little group or whatever. It was me, Tokyo Vanity, Nick Nack Paddywhack, Tarzan, McAsh Hole, K Carmouche, Tura Mac That Feet. Like all of us was in this one little group, right? And the hottest one in the group was Tura Mac That Feet. You know, he was the first. Donovan.
Right.
He was the first guy on Instagram wearing wigs, right?
Yeah, that's so funny.
So of course that brought a lot of attention to him.
Right.
He was the first one in the group getting booked. So when he got booked, he asked us to come to his booking and we was gonna get paid too. So the guy, whoever booked Donovan, paid us $150 to come too. So when they paid me the $150, I quit the job right then and there, right? So I felt like the job was taking up so much of my time, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do with Black Rank, right? Like they had so many opportunities going on and I wasn't able to go to everything because I had a job and I had to keep the job because I had a son. You know? I had my own bills and all that. So, but once I got paid from that one booking, I quit. And then I think I didn't get booked till like months later, but then I started doing promo on Instagram.
Right.
So my dream really wasn't to become an entrepreneur. My dream wasn't to do none of that. My dream was really just to not have a job anymore and just make money from my online following. I wasn't thinking about a business. I remember my first thing I started selling on Instagram was I started selling bounce CDs.
Bounce CDs?
Yes.
So New Orleans.
Yeah, listen, when I used to be on Periscope, people used to always ask me, what did you listen to? Like, I never heard that kind of music. So I'm like, that's bounce. Y'all never heard bounce music. Me thinking bounce was like really like nationwide, but it wasn't at that time.
Yes, there was like a regional thing and all that.
Exactly.
If that, you know.
So I couldn't sell it on iTunes because I was going to get sued, right? So I just made a CD, a burnt CD. I went to Cessful 5 and I said, look, I need some burnt CDs. He made the CDs, I got the graphic made, and then I started selling them. I made a website and just started selling them. People was buying it, like it was called This That Beho. And people were literally buying it.
So how other people probably felt like you was like, man, that's my song, and Supa selling my song.
Nobody hit me up.
Damn, so
Nobody hit me up. Nobody did.
So that's good. So back to, all right, this is what I want to ask you too. I was looking at an interview that Cam Newton and Reginald was talking about, and he was asking her about surgeries, slash surgery. Like, he was like, well, if men do it, you know, y'all probably get mad, but women could do it, and this is okay. He said women could do this to themselves, this to themselves, and that's cool. But if a man have, you know, his teeth done, his abs done, or whatever, you know, people might say something about. How do you feel about people that want to do that for their particular reasons, and for the people that might think they shouldn't do it, or whatever?
Yeah. So I feel like, you know, black women got that going on. Black women got that, man can't do this, only women can.
Right.
You know, even though black men too, but black women are real strict now on what a man can't do. If he do, he feminine. If he do, he gay.
Right.
Like now they saying black men can't smoke hookah. When black women, no, not black men, but when men created hookah.
Wow.
Men created hookah and women couldn't even smoke hookah at first.
Right.
Only men could smoke it, right? So it's a lot of things. Black women put a little strain on black men. Like if you do this, at one point black men couldn't even wear skinny jeans. If he was gay. Right. Like everything is, if a man do this, he gay. If a man do that, he gay.
Yeah, they talk about the hoochie daddy shorts and all that stuff. That's the thing.
That's black women putting a strain on it. Cause you know other races don't even be a problem. Like white women don't look at men with shorts on and call them gay. They just feel like, you know, he got his beach shorts on. He got his, you know, like it's a lot of things black women see, but that started from social media. Like a black man can't even express himself without him looking like a hoe.
I'm glad you're saying that too, to the black man thing, because I noticed even when I done talk to women, they'll be like, oh, you can't be acting like you're in your feelings, you can't be hard, you gotta stop acting. I'm like, men are still humans, they're not robots. So they still have emotions. I mean, Tupac told you when thugs cry, we done seen DMX cry on the stage, Young Boy emotional, Rod Wade emotional, Kevin Gates, like some of the most notable rappers that they love are emotional, you know, to Boosie. Like, so when people say that, you know, men can't have feelings, you know, you gotta always be tough all the time, I think that's crazy, because you gotta be able to express yourself. And I think a lot of people lack communication. Now, being in relationships and having previous relationships probably not work out, but you know, you're in a good place which you really love where you at right now. What do you feel like so different from the past, or what did you learn, you know, from that to now?
Listen, before I met Ray, I got a post I posted on Twitter, and I said, I don't want no more hard men. I'm over it.
Now, what you mean by whole, like gangster, roughneck type?
Hood niggas,
okay.
like a man who can't even express himself, a man that can't be vulnerable, a man that can't even tell me how you feel without him feeling like, well, I can't say that if I do, then I'm gonna feel like I'm a hoe. I ain't want no more of them type of niggas.
Right.
I ain't want niggas, period. I was over it. I was over the men that just was, oh, they gotta ride with the gun in the car, like just being too, like trying to be too G'd up, soldier down, like. I was over it. I wanted a man to be sensitive with me. I wanted a man to actually be vulnerable with me. I wanted a man to be able to express himself. I want a man to cry in front of me. I want a man to tell me what's hurting him. And if he cry, my nigga.
Like, I like that too, because I looked at Ray and I know your first name Ray now, his name Razor, and it's crazy I said both y'all Ray. That's ironic and that's crazy. I was looking at when he had the street coat with all the stuff in there and you got on there, and that was thoughtful that he did that. You didn't even know what you was walking into.
Doing that.
Then,
Ain't no hard niggas doing that.
That's what I'm saying. And then, cause I remember when I was younger in high school, and I used to put like candles around the tub of my girlfriend and doing all kind of stuff. My cousins and brothers, man, don't be doing that shit, cause our girls gonna think that this ain't no damn Valentine's Day. But if you listen to too much R&B music, some Jodeci, Keith Sweat, Vine, man, with this nigga listen, you got your feelings hurt. I'm like, damn, my daddy was a singer. I like R&B music, but you're right. It's like when you do that, it's like you get stoned for just being a hopeless romantic or being nice. And I know some days gonna probably get on me about it, but I'm just being honest. I understand what you're saying. So a lot of times that turn you into like, I gotta treat women bad, or I don't wanna show my emotion, because when I do, they feel like they're gonna walk over you.
Right.
Maybe, but most of the time it's the wrong person.
Definitely.
And they're not growing up, or they still, like you said, won't be with the guy riding around with the gun. When the same guy gets you shot, you get killed, or your kids could be at home with, because you want to date a guy that's living this lifestyle, but you got to take all the good and the bad that come with it. And you grown enough to understand that now, right? That's why you're saying that.
Much grown enough to understand it. Like, I want a man to be confident and be, like, I don't want no scary nigga, but I want him to be smart too. If it's me and him walking down the street and the man try to holler at me, obviously he's doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, he's trying to get trouble out you, so let's just keep walking. You know, a man that's gonna just bust out and be like, man, what the fuck you want? I can't deal with no nigga like that. Like, we gotta worry about the stuff that we got at home. Like, we got too much going on to risk our life for a nigga that ain't got nothing to lose. You know? And at one point, I loved niggas. I used to love them gangster hood ass niggas. Them niggas used to turn me on. Now it's like, like, it's weird now. Like, I feel like you don't got nothing to lose, and that makes you a loser to me. Like, if you ain't living for nothing, then what are you doing? Like, it just don't make sense to me. Like, of course I want that. I want that hardness when it comes to him being protective, but I be soft about me. Right. And I tweeted that before I even met Ray, and I told him that, like, I need a man to be soft.
So you feel like you living your love story right now?
I'm definitely living my exact love story.
I seen him say too, he was talking about that movie when the lady forgot everything, and he had to like do everything to make her remember, all the first dates and the love, and just make her remember him and stuff like that. And he was like, he'll do that all over again if he had to do it. I was like, damn. That's really, you really love somebody. Cause like you say, people could get hurt on the job, they could get in a bad car accident, they get burnt all up, and they might don't look the same way. They might lose a leg in the army, a soldier, and his wife still got to push him around in the wheelchair. That's unconditional love that some people never get in a lifetime. So that's why my mama said, and a lot of other women that really appreciate you as a black woman, they happy for you. Some of them might not, but a lot of them probably really happy, and they like, one day I'm gonna find my knight in shining armor and stuff like that. I heard you say something too about your mom, dad, people are from, I think it's Terrebonne Parish, Homer. You were saying you got people out there. How do you feel about that? I know you got relatives from home, I guess, and when people be like, I ain't from New Orleans, I'm from Louisiana, I ain't from Louisiana, they country, but everybody probably got to go to this family reunion somewhere in a rural area in the South.
Always in the country.
So why you feel like people from New Orleans make people like that feel bad when they got family probably, their great-great-grandma probably from this small town of Louisiana?
Listen, my fiance tell me this all the time. Your people country.
So where he from?
He from the Place.
Okay, St. John Parish.
I call him country, right?
Oh, so this is already the thing y'all go through?
Yeah, I call him country all the time, and he be like, yeah. So, they think we country. People in different parishes, they feel like New Orleans is country. And I found that out dealing with him. I'm like, how you think we country? And he was like, the fact that we got corner stores, you could buy meat, gas, you could buy canned goods, you could buy cigarettes. He felt like that's country. He feel like New Orleans didn't get a Walmart until after the storm. He said that's country. He's like, why y'all don't have no Walmart?
No, that's not true. Cause we had one east. We had one east. Lil Wayne mama used to work on the one on Reed. That's kept. He gotta have that. Ray, you wrong, bro. Now Mesita, Lil Wayne mama worked on Bundy in Bunker Hill.
I thought
they had the Sam's next to it.
On Shopatunas, dude.
I don't know. I know. See, I used to live in the 7-1 East a lot, so I know growing up, we always used to be in the 1 the East because we had a Sam's Club. See, they don't have the Sam's Club, and you know, anywhere they have a Sam's Club, it got to be an affluent area. Okay, just like on Airline, you got in Kennedy, they got the Walmart and the Sam's next to the club. We had that in the East, whatever. But now they just got the one on Bullet. But back then we had it where Mesita was working at. So now, Ray, I can't say it well, but we definitely had a Walmart in the East in the city.
They think we country, so. My thing is, we just feel like New Orleans it's different. It stands out in Louisiana. It's different from Baton Rouge. It's different from Thibodeau. It's different from Maryville. That's why
culturally,
it's culturally different. Right.
The Mardi Gras Indians and all that.
Everything
the jazz,
is different. So that's why even I still say, I'm about to be 35, and I still say I'm from New Orleans. I'm not from Louisiana.
Oh Lord.
You know, even I do stuff, but I say that in a jokingly manner.
Right.
Of course, I'm always, I love Louisiana, but all my people, a lot of them not from New Orleans.
Right.
They're from, like my daddy from a meat somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
And my mama's daddy from Homewood. Like they all over. Our people all over the place.
The roots,
right?
yeah.
But New Orleans is just different. That's why when they come party in New Orleans. Like they come have fun in New Orleans. Like they come eat in New Orleans. Like it's just different. So I just feel like we stand out more.
How has it been like a mom, of 2 beautiful kids and smart kids, and being able to put them in good schools and do things for them that you probably couldn't do when you probably couldn't get when because your mom was doing the best she could do, but knowing that you could get these things for Christmas for them and their cousins and your nieces and nephews. How does that feel?
It's an amazing feeling. I think we, like every Christmas, me and my sister, we always did get to listen, before that it was just me and my sister. So it was just our kids. Like our kids grew up as siblings. Like they feel like they're brother and sister, but they're really cousins. But every Christmas, we always done Christmas, we always done like a Christmas breakfast, and we always done a brunch. Like we always was real, like I say, real family oriented. Like our family used to pick a house every year, we'll go.
So y'all play card games and all that stuff too?
I don't play cards. I don't know how to play cards, but they do, but I don't. But it felt good. Like last Christmas was probably my biggest Christmas for my family. Like I had, the Christmas tree was right here. They had presents came way out the hill, And it just felt good to know that I could do something for my family. Like even when it came to just giving them a job, like that was amazing for me. It was amazing to know that I could help my family in some sort of way. I'm all about family.
Right, I can see you real family, and like you say, you're real close to your friends, and that's good too. Because I remember as a kid, and certain kids you just love to sleep under the Christmas tree, and I could imagine they got a big old tree and all these gifts, and they're like, man, I can't wait to open this up, and everybody getting to see all the kids across America, just across the world on the internet, everybody showing their kids open up the gifts, the bikes and the remote control cars, the video games and stuff like that. That's a beautiful thing. You ever thought about doing like reality shows like with your family, like how T.I. and Tiny and them be having it in their house? Cause you really an open book, and you really still, and I don't really still understand how you do this, cause you so big, like you still be DMing people back. You still you got 2.6 million, I think, followers, but you 2.68. Thank you for correcting me. And you still write people back. You still like engage with people. Like, why is that so important for you to be so engaging with your supporters?
Because when you engage with them, they just love you so much. Like I love all the love I receive. Like that love keep me going. Like when I be having a lot of days when I feel like I'm tired of this, I don't want to do this no more. And then I go out to the store and someone be like, oh, Supa, you inspire me so much. Like you really got me doing this and that. Like I really look up to you. That make me change my decisions.
Wow.
Like I need like if you notice, a lot of people say like I can't be alone. Like that's why I've been in relationship. I always got my friends around, but in actuality, I really don't like being alone. I grew up around a lot of people, so I like to be with people. So I like to receive love. Like that love keep me going. Like I need somebody to tell me they love me every day. Like I need it. Like I yearn it. Like, and that's why I'm always telling my people I love them every day. Like so when I DM them back, they just be so happy.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, they
like,
do. I mean, because like
they be happy.
you got a blue check, and like I said, a lot of people don't do that, and you stay so grounded. A lot of people get all the way up there, and you know, they I remember Kanye mom was saying, so I can't remember what she was saying about a giant in the clouds. Like you can't never forget where you came from and stuff like that. And like you said, you still stay grounded. Now, when you was doing the rap stuff, and I guess before you probably had more of a tomboyish kind of style, when did you feel like you got more into your girly, feminine side and started like tapping into that more or whatever, like growing up?
Probably 2020. Now I had my times when I dressed up girly, but I wasn't comfortable, right? But 2020 was really when I really got fully into girly mode, right?
Like the heels and all that?
Well, I've been wearing heels since I was 18,
Okay.
but I stopped wearing heels when I was 23 because I twisted my ankle. But so I always, so yeah, around that time I used to be girly, but I still was like full blown, like I'm still full blown tomboy.
Right.
Like my boyfriend tell me all the time, like stop, you sound like a nigga, you know. Right. But at heart, I really feel like I should have been a boy. At heart, like I'm such a tomboy. Like everything I do, I always think about, damn, like this ain't what girls do. But as far as appearance wise, like really tapping into it all the way full blown 2020, which was after my breakup. That's when I really went to dressing all the time like a woman. Right. Really started actually like just being full girly. Like I mean, makeup don't make you a full girl. You know, like makeup don't make you feel girly neither. Like if you remember, I used to wear my grill. Right. So my grill with my 2 cuts in my eyebrows. Like I still was in my tomboy phase. Like 2
cuts in the eyebrows, trying to wild out like Jay-Z
I've been
said.
wearing cuts in my brows since I was 16.
Yeah, you definitely was stuck back then.
Yeah, I got pictures. I got everything to prove it. Like I always did with cuts in my brows. So even when I started wearing makeup, I used to put the little 2 cuts in my brows. I had my grill. I stopped wearing my grill once I got pregnant with my daughter. When I got pregnant with my daughter, I didn't do anything. Like I wanted my pregnancy to take over me. Like I didn't wear fake hair. I didn't wear my grill. I stopped doing the cuts in my brows. Like I just wanted my pregnancy to really be all about me. You know, so
and everything natural.
Yeah, everything natural. But I stopped wearing my grill completely in 2021. I just stopped. So right now I'm really in my real girl womany phase.
What made you get into makeup? I mean, because you had the soup kitchen, you was doing the jokes and stuff like that. What made you get into this, and what made you even call it, you know, the crayon case, which is a dope name because you got different colors of makeup.
So I always been into makeup since, for a long time, probably since I was young. You know, at first, you know, girls used to wear the lip gloss with the liners and you know, put on the
black liner,
so that's what I used to do too when I was young. It was just lip gloss and stuff. But I kind of really got into makeup like probably 2013, 14 when I was really doing my own makeup. And when I started getting booked in 2015, I had to find a makeup artist in every different city, and it was hard. So I said, let me try to start doing my own makeup, like actually doing it myself so I could look presentable for my bookings. So I used to be on Periscope. So before Instagram Live, it was Periscope, right? So I used to be on Periscope Live, and I used to teach myself how to do my own makeup, and I used to be clowning on there. And then I actually got the hang of it. So people started actually see me do my brows better, do my lipstick better, put on my foundation better. So they started seeing it, and it was like, oh, well, what's this you use? So I always tell my followers, y'all keep asking what I'm using, I'm gonna start selling it. Like everything my followers asked me what I had, I just started selling it. Cause I'm like, if y'all gonna keep asking me, I'm just gonna sell it, y'all buy it for me, you know? So that's how the brand came. And the brand came from, they watched me teach myself how to do my makeup. They watched me learn from YouTube how to do makeup, and where you learn and where you get taught at school, you know. So the whole brand was surrounded around school supplies. So I got 2 different types of consumers. I got the consumers that love makeup and use makeup forever, and the consumers who never tried makeup, they want to try it because the brand is not intimidating. Like if you spend $40 on a palette, you're not about to play in it. Right. Like it's too high to play in. But my palettes, they big, they fun, they colorful. Like they make you want to actually learn and use it to actually learn. So that's where the whole school thing came from.
That's right. And you made, and was that 2018 or 2019 when you made like over $1 million in like 90 or 60 minutes?
90 minutes.
90 minutes.
So 90 minutes was in 2019 and what was it, 20? It was 20, that's why I say it was.
Because I think one year you had to stock and get more stuff because you wasn't ready for
I wasn't ready for Black Friday.
Right.
So because I sold out. So 2018 was the 90 minutes, and 2019, what was it, 2020? In 2019 was the tax and sale. It was like a few months afterwards I done a tax and sale, then I made 1.2 million in 60 minutes.
Right.
So
because you was prepared that time.
I was prepared.
Right.
I was able to prepare. So yeah, that's how it happened. Then if you notice, a lot of I came out with a whole lipstick line, and all the lipsticks are called Street since in 17.
Wow.
And I'm running pizza. I got Loreline, I got Green, I got Burdette, I got Hillary, I got Cherokee. I got all the streets that I used to run on, I named.
That's fine. And see, that's because you're a boss. So you're the boss. You can do that, and you can control it. And how I feel, like you said, because I know you probably have a lot of friends or family members that probably like know a lot about makeup, or they into all that stuff, and now they can kind of be a part of what you're doing because you done created this platform of social media, and then you turned it into something else with your followers. Like, we gonna try out if Supa saying this what she doing, we gonna give my girl a shot or whatever, and damn, it's really good or whatever. You know, it is good, because a lot of people probably try things, but it's not as successful. So you actually did it, and it worked, and then you was able to create jobs and opportunities for your people.
Definitely, the jobs was the main accomplishment for me. Like, to actually give. And I don't know if a lot of people knew, but every man that worked for me was a convicted felon, right? And a lot of them just came home, like Bang just came home. Well, not just came, well, he did. He just, because he went to jail, I bonded him out, he just came home, so I gave him a job. It was, how many dudes I met? I met 2 dudes that was locked up with get them. And when they came home, I gave them both a job, right? One of them name was Streets. I think he did 9 years, I think. The other dude, his name was Jerk. I actually met Jerk through my manager, but when he came home,
I was just talking to Jerk or whatever, and Jerk got the same vanilla,
So Jerk and Street, I guess I think they was friends before they met in prison. I'm not sure, but I gave both of them a job, and they came home with their licenses, like they had their forklift license and stuff. Like, they came home like ready to work, you know. And I think Jerk still work at the Crown Key. He do. He still work for me. And Streets worked with me for like 3 years. So I was just happy just to give them jobs, knowing that, I mean, who else is going to hire?
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of times society write them off and all, and they come home and they do their death to society, but nobody won't give them a chance. So you know what it's like being a black man, and if they don't get too many things, then they're gonna go back to the old life, and then they can end up dead or back in there forever.
And they kept their jobs. They kept their jobs. They worked. They came to work on time. They did everything they needed to do. So I was. They just needed opportunity. They just needed opportunity, and I don't think people really noticed that. Like, and they worked as hard as they could, and then I think Streets ended up moving, and he went to another job, and then he used us as a reference. So that was the whole thing. The whole thing was for you to come home, get a job, so you could have all these jobs, and you could be straight. You don't gotta go back. Like, you be busy.
Now let me ask you something, because I know you love your city, and right now we got a dark cloud over our city again, murder capital of the country. They said the murder rate up like 44%, and like you said, you still live here. You don't want to leave. You love your city. And a lot of people saying is this side or that side who not doing their job, or we don't have enough police, or the councilmen and the mayor not on the same page, whatever. Like, what do you feel about the way people could move, or what you think they probably need to do to kind of make things better, or if you probably even got an idea or whatever?
Well, the main thing we could do is stop killing each other.
Right.
Like, you know, we be so mad when the police kill us, and we be so mad. Why we don't be that mad when we kill each other? Like, we be so mad when the police kill our people. We so upset when the judicial system just fail our people. But nobody come forward when our people killing our people. You know, like, that's the main thing. Like, all the robberies, all that didn't come out of nowhere. Right. Now I want the city to understand that the government probably set that up too. Like, why was all the robbery happening in the East? That was weird, right? So when I look at it, by me stepping into being a homeowner and then me buying all the property, it looked like that shit was set up on purpose. Right. Because now, at first, you know, the East used to be where all the money reside.
Yeah, all the football players, all the cash money was out there. Now it's like the worst place. Nobody don't, and it's been like that since Katrina. Like, it's been going down. It was like, if you think, I'm gonna say this too, to piggyback off what you just said. When you look at Compton was where George Bush used to live when he was a little kid or whatever. And it was like in the 50s, it was good. But you get to the 80s, it's gangbanging is crazy out there in Compton. And that's, East was like where everybody was affluent, living at black people. Now the East, nobody don't even want to stop and get gas there.
No, because the white folks trying to buy it all up. They're trying to buy it all up. They're trying to change it up. And if you notice, they pushed all the East to Slidell, if you notice. But St. Tammany don't play that. So I hope y'all don't come out here doing all that, you know, because listen, at the same time, don't play. But I just wish that we be as upset when our people kill each other, you know. But also don't sleep that the people doing that to us too. You know, like kind of like when the people put crack like in all the neighborhoods.
In certain communities,
I feel like it's the same way. Like y'all trying to get these kids to rob and steal from people and all that. Now nobody don't even want to stop in the East, but it's also like the whole market, the house level market went down.
Yeah.
So like now all the houses for sale and they're trying to push the older people out who've been having their houses for years.
And then you know a lot of people gentrifying areas like the Irish Channel, like certain parts of P-Town, the 8 Water, Marion, all these places buy water and they pushing people in a concentrated area.
That water was bad.
Yeah.
It ain't bad no more now.
Right. Not like how, like you said, not like how the East is, 'cause like you said, it's a concentrated, it's just like Chicago. They knocked down Cabrini Greens and Robert Taylor Homes, all these projects, and they pushed them all in this concentrated area. So you got a lot of dudes in the South Side Chicago, West Side, and that's where a lot of the crime be at in small pockets. It ain't the whole city, it's pockets of it. And I think that, you know, like I said, you're right, people do need to love one another more, and you wouldn't want to kill somebody if you like, man, I got love for my brothers. I really know how hard it is for all of us to come out, for me to go rob and jack this person, hurt them when they work hard to get here, when they just like me or whatever, you know, they just trying to make it too or whatever, trying to rub two niggas together. But
these kids need something to do. Like, you remember when, how old are you?
I'm 38 right now.
Okay, so I'm about to be 35. So you remember when we was young, they always had they had the skating rink, they had Team Summit, they had the Supa Fair, they had the movies, they had all these things going on. They had so much.
They even had camps and stuff. I remember in the East for the summertime, like that we'll go and jump in sand, potato sack racing and shit.
The North, they had so much stuff for the kids to do. There's nothing for the kids to do.
Yeah, because everybody don't want to play football. I know a lot of kids do that, and that's a good thing, but there's so many other things that everybody not into. But the other things that we did have at one time, Girl Scout Club, Denzel Washington always talk about, if you could eventually do things where you probably could try to help like that, because I like I said, from this interview, you like to help people, but I know you can only do so much. But in due time, what would you like to do something like that where you probably could have something for the kids to like look forward to if you could do that?
I would definitely love to bring back all those like those recreational centers back, because they had a lot of them before Katrina.
Right.
They had a lot. Like I wish I could. Not saying I wish I could. Like it can't happen. It can happen. But I definitely don't like I could do it by myself neither. I would love for some people to kind of join me and we could just do something for these teenagers. Like it's nothing for them to do. I don't think nobody really understands. Like they have a little stuff, but it's always surrounded around sports.
Yeah.
Like you trying to press the boys to play ball, press the boys to play all these sports. When sometimes they really just want to have fun. That's why they had the Team Summit. That's why they had the Super Fest. That's why they had all that, because the people that didn't want to do all that sport, like I wasn't sports savvy.
Right.
I wasn't going nowhere with sports well besides tag on, like the games and stuff they had. You know, it was only going to the games because you know all the dudes was gonna be there. So we weren't really going to watch the game. You know. So I just feel like if there was something for the kids to be doing, the teenagers to be doing, they wouldn't be in all this crime. Like they wouldn't be following behind their older siblings and their older cousins and trying to rob people. They wouldn't be doing all that.
Yeah, and being misled by the wrong people and stuff.
Yes.
Because you're right, like I said, my brother wasn't really into sports like that, so everybody not gonna like that. But I like what Nipsey was even trying to do before he passed, like the STEM programs and help kids with science and want to learn little stuff about math and all that, just engineering stuff, maybe computers. So just to make them fascinated about something else that they wasn't exposed to, and they might be like, damn, I really like this. I never even knew we could do it or whatever, but you might save a couple of them and that was still enough, because they could still come back and say, man, because I did that stuff that Super Sense started. Definitely. I wound up going to Harvard, I wound up going to, you know, Spelman or something like that, and they could look back and say, I come from under her lineage. Even she helped shout these people out their business. Right. I went through this school because of her, but we all still tied to her story because she found a way to stay help. Yeah. What were any last words you want to lead the people with, or you want to say, because like I said, I know you don't do that many interviews, and I'm honored that you even let me interview you, or whatever. What would you want to tell the people if you wanted to look at the camera and tell them something?
What I want to tell y'all?
Last words. Even if you say like some of the people that might have a dream and they just really feel like, man, I'm just feeling like giving up. Nobody don't support me. I just feel like this ain't working. You know, I think I'm at the end of my rope. This ain't gonna never happen. I've been doing it too long. Like, what do you tell somebody like that? The
main thing I always say is, like, every time somebody tell me, oh, Supa, I look up to you, I want to be just like you when I grow up, I always tell them, I want you to be better than me. Like when you idolize people, and it's okay to idolize people, but when you're trying to mimic something they're doing, you can always be behind them, right? I always tell people, like, don't pace yourself. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, whatever you're trying to do, music, whatever you're trying to do, it's truly important to pace yourself. Stop trying to move at the speed of social media. Stop trying to move at the speed of an influencer who already had a large following, like me. I already had the large following. Stop trying to move at certain paces. Move at your own pace. Like when you move at your own pace and you really stay focused on whatever you're trying to do, you're going to shine so bright.
Trust the
and
process.
You're going to feel so much better about yourself. Like knowing that you did this on your own, do your research. Research is extremely important. When you do your research and you actually try to find out exactly what you're trying to do, like if you're trying to start selling clothes, learn them fabrics, learn them threads, learn how to sew, learn whatever you got to learn.
Get on YouTube, watch videos.
Get on YouTube, like research, like I researched everything I could about cosmetics. Everything I could. I sampled everything I needed to sample. Like I really
no school.
No school. Like I didn't even finish high school. I dropped out.
Made good for yourself.
And I'm still where I'm at. So that's why I be telling them, like, don't try to idolize these people.
Be inspired, but don't.
Be inspired,
right,
but don't try to walk in their footsteps. Create your own steps. Like when you create your own steps, you're gonna get as far as you can, because you're not trying to. Like when you watching somebody, you're gonna stop what you're doing and see what they're doing, and then try to do that instead of you actually doing what you want to do.
Right.
When you do what you want to do, you're gonna get so far.
Yeah, have your own story, like I say, because you putting out, you leaving your footprint in the sand. Exactly. I just want to tell you, thank you.
No doubt.
You gave me enough of your time. I appreciate it. This was a great interview and stuff like that. I ain't do one in 5 months, but the last person I interviewed was Big Bob's Master P best friend or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And I interviewed you, and I wanted to switch it up because I be interviewing a lot of people with music. So I'm glad to interview somebody in the beauty field and cosmetics, and somebody that's from New Orleans that everybody love, and she represents the 17 just like Lil Wayne represented.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
No doubt.
We out.